Hey everybody, it's Nate and Steph from Adventure and Backpack. We had Plastidip on our van for about a year now. It's time to see how it did.
If this is your first time to our channel, welcome. We travel around in our custom DIY camper van, having as many adventures as we possibly can. If this sounds like your kind of adventure, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
A year ago, we gave our van a DIY paint job, except that it wasn't really paint. It's called Plastidip, and it's time for a review. We've put some serious miles on our van over the last year. It's seen hot sandy deserts, it's seen mud, and it's seen miles of salty snowy roads. Let's take a look at the damage.
Okay, let's just start at the hood, and you can see a couple of dings there. Let's see, it's lifting right here. I think that's probably from where we taped it. This is beaten up. It's pretty much, where it's probably been hit with some gravel coming off of cars in front of us, and bugs. It's probably just been smashed by bugs. This is surprising. This is actually perfectly fine. So this is where we went from one color to the next color and just separated the two with painter's tape. And I was expecting that to lift, and it's not at all. It looks fantastic. This side of the door is kind of rubbed off. The door handle, this is one that we actually knew was going to be an issue, just because it's a high use area. We're grabbing on it. We didn't put a ton of coats on it because we knew that we would likely end up pulling this off, so we probably will. We keep saying that we probably will just pull that off. It's a little ding right there. Looks like there's I'm not sure what's happening there. It's lifting. Looks like something actually gashed it.
That's where the trim piece moved.
Oh.
At some point.
Oh, I see. Huh. Interesting. Down here is actually holding up really, really well, surprisingly. I mean, this obviously gets beaten up a lot, but that's holding up really well. And something we noticed on the ladder is that every rung, there's scuffs where we've kicked the side of the van just as we're climbing up the ladder. Specifically on this top rung, there's a bunch of scuff marks here. Then while we're up here, I'm going to check out the roof as well. The roof actually looks fantastic. I can only see 2 dings on it, and one of them happened when we installed the roof rack, and one of them happened just like a week ago when we were sitting up here and I dropped the tripod. So the back looks awesome. Little ding there. Couple of little dings down here. Nothing too bad. Again, lifting on the door handle just a little bit. Ding here. Ding here. And we're back at the hood. So that's about all. I mean, really, there's not a ton of damage to it, and none of it is really bad.
And then I've got about 4 things that I want to show you to point out that's a little bit different, that's not necessarily damage we picked up on the road. So right here, There's a spot where it's bubbled up just a little bit. The Plastidip has actually bubbled up some. And there's another spot back here. This one's a lot worse than the one on the side. And then the last one is actually around front, up top. And then this spot right here. So those 3 spots that are bubbled up, they were actually bubbled up basically as soon as we did this. Now what causes that is either some like oil or maybe a little bit of like moisture, some water, something like that, was actually in between the Plastidip and the metal. And so it's been like that since we did it. We ended up leaving it basically because we're like, well, let's see what it does. Let's see if it gets any worse rather than messing with it and trying to fix it. So we left it alone and it hasn't actually gotten worse. The one on the back grew a little bit over the first 2 to 3 months and then stopped. So what you see is where it's been for about the last 9 months or so. And now I've got one more thing to show you. Okay, so right here is obviously where the diesel fill up is, and Plastidip is actually, diesel and petroleum based products will actually strip away Plastidip, and so this is kind of a vulnerable area. And I have spilled diesel on this. I'm very, very, very careful to not to, but you know, accidents happen. And it's actually, like, you can see where there's a few spots where it did drip, but overall, it's still intact, it's still good. We're not having any bubbling issues or anything like that. So that's a super positive thing for me. Overall impressions of the Plastidip is pretty good, honestly. We didn't really know what to expect, but it's what we picked. And I mean, are you glad with this choice?
Yeah, I'm happy with this choice. I mean, for how much we spent, how little we spent on it, and the fact that we were able to do it ourselves, and you know, we didn't have a whole lot of expectations for it. Yeah, overall it's been, it looks good. It still looks good.
Yeah, it still looks good.
I'm
We
happy
just
with it.
we just showed you all the super nitpicky details of all the stuff where it doesn't look that good. But overall, like, everybody likes it. Like, everybody we've run into has said it looks fantastic. We told them how much it costs and all that kind of stuff. They're pretty surprised at it.
Yeah.
I think the question is, like, would we do it again? And like, if we had the same budget, like, yeah, I would definitely do it again. I would entertain the idea of hiring it out to somebody who's a little bit more skilled than we are at it, because it was more time consuming to actually do the initial thing than I thought it was going to, but it's held up really well. We haven't been easy on it.
It hides dirt really well, which is definitely a pro, because this is the first time we've ever washed it since it's been Plasti-dipped.
It was hard to wash. It was
hard to wash, but a year of not washing something, it doesn't matter if it's paint, vinyl, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to wash.
It's going to be stained.
Gross.
Yeah.
We're going to do a quick Q&A of some of the questions that we've got about the Plasti-dip over the last year. Things that were asked on our original video, things that people have asked since then. Just general Q&A about the Plasti-dip.
So let's get going.
Weirdo.
It's the lightning round. Question number 1. How much was it?
$765.81.
Question number 2. How many gallons of paint was it?
10 gallons. We probably could have used 2 more of the tan, specifically.
Question number 3. How many tacos were consumed during making this?
Not enough.
Next question. Why did you choose Plasti-dip over paint or vinyl wrap?
Primarily cost. We were quoted about $7,000 to $10,000 to do a vinyl wrap or paint, and this was $765.81.
Which means we could have done it 10 times for the same price.
Question 4, or something. Why would you want to change the color from the beautiful white?
Because it looks awesome, that's why. Next question. Question 5. Why didn't you prep it? There's no sanding, there's no Bondo. What gives?
You're not supposed to. The stuff is meant to be applied directly to the paint, and all you need to do is wash it and wipe it down with the prep stuff that's included in the kit, and that's all.
Remember, this isn't paint. This is essentially a spray-on vinyl wrap.
Question number 6. Why did you not do Line-X or Rhino liner?
We didn't do either one of those because of cost. Now, we had a lot of people in our last comment section, they're like, well, I could get a Line-X done on the whole thing for $365. And no, you can't. You can't even get a truck bed sprayed for $500. So I don't know where in the world you think you're gonna get a full Line-X, take this to a Line-X place.
Buddy and Steve are gonna
Buddy.
something black spray.
Yeah, you're gonna get a bunch of tar on your van or something like that, because you're for sub $2,000 even, like, you're not gonna get Line-X sprayed on the entire outside of your van. So that's why we did that, because that's not really an option.
Question number 7. How much weight did it add to your build?
This is a very interesting question. I don't know. We did not weigh the van before and after we sprayed a vinyl wrap onto the outside of the van. But water is about 8 and a little bit pounds per gallon. We used about 10 gallons. I'm gonna guess that Plastidip was probably about the same in weight to volume kind of thing. Not sure how much of it evaporated. So you figure, 10 gallons times 8 and a little bit, 83 pounds. Most of that's likely evaporating. The pigment gets left behind. So at absolute most, the maximum that it could possibly add to the van is 83-ish pounds.
But we don't know. And I'm not sure why that's a question.
Question number 8. Does it add any kind of insulation value?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's paint. Does paint add insulation value?
Probably not.
Probably not. Question number 9. Doesn't changing it from white to any other color make it less stealthy in the city?
Probably, but we're not trying to sneak up on anybody.
Also, I think we've kind of crossed that bridge. We're not very stealthy. Question number 10. Is that your gray van out there? Is that your black van out there? Is that your green van out there? Is that your white van out there? Is that your brown van out there? We hope you enjoyed this 1-year update of our Plastidip application, and I hope it answered all of your questions.
But if it didn't, you can leave them in the comments below. As you're on your way down there, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. So, until next time, we'll see you later.